Just a very difficult time for travel. That's why parts of Interstate 90, parts of Interstate 35 were closed yesterday. I mean, when you get interstates to close, you know it's bad. Today, we've also got some snow still falling. In fact, it's happening right now in Chicago. It's 18 degrees. Your visibility down about 1.25 miles. That's an accumulating snow. You know, officially yesterday, Chicago, a ½ inch. We'll get more today. And that's the pattern that we're in throughout the entire area. You know, near Indianapolis, near Cincinnati, down towards Lexington and Louisville. We're going to get these snow showers that keep on going along with the cold. So it's going to feel very wintry-like out there. And any of these snow showers might not seem like they're doing a lot, but it is going to be, I think, at times heavy enough that you do get accumulation and roads do get slick. Tracking today, that's Nacio. And then we've got another system that we've got to look at for the weekend. I know it's a big holiday weekend. You know, we've got Valentine's Day on Sunday, and then we also have President's Day coming up. So, you know, a lot of folks thinking of traveling. The East, the story is cold and wintry. You know, there's an index that shows us how bad the winter has been. And for most folks in the East, it's been mild. In Maine, it's been almost record mild when it comes to the kind of winter. All of a sudden, winter is here, and it's here all week long. We've got some snow back in the forecast for Wednesday. Thursday, a little bit of snow, especially with help from the lakes. The chill is in place throughout the East all through the week. The West is warm. I mean, LA, we're going to spend all week in the 80s. Phoenix in the 80s. Dallas, we're going to be in the 70s, if not close to 80, at least midweek. But the chill is back by the end of the week, and we have to watch what happens with the potential for a storm moving east. Here we go on Sunday, diving down right here across portions of the plains, and we'll track that east through the weekend into next week. Wait, do you see what it feels like in Indy? 10. So if you get into an accident and get stuck and you got to wait for someone to come help you, it's going to be cold. So be ready. Make sure you have that winter care kit in your car today. We've got a lot of cold air in place. Huge dip in our jet stream affecting, excuse me, everyone from New Orleans all the way down into Florida. And it's dry, I might add, which is why I think I'm coughing. With this cold air, it's also a very dry air. All right, so I'm watching our latest storm, and it is going to bring some snow showers later today. I'm going to have to step off and get a quick sip of water. But I'll talk through this as I'm getting that. We are going to be looking for...
I got you.
Thank you, lady.
You're welcome.
We are going to be looking for the snowflakes to start your day, and we'll finish it today and tonight as well with that. All right. Live TV here, guys. So when it's, you know, just me and Ann Riddis here this morning, so I'll get you going with my water in hand. No fancy mug like Reynolds has. We are looking for the snowflakes to start around Albany. As you can see, they're fairly light. The snow falling around Baltimore and D.C. right now as well. Temperatures here are actually above the freezing mark, and we are going to be looking for, though, temperatures to be steady and falling through the afternoon. So later today, expecting more problems on the roadways. Snowfall QPF looks like this. Bigger snowfall when we get some help with elevation. Ann Riddis.
13 years.
Wow, that's a fantastic cause.
Yeah.
All right, good story. Thank you for sharing that. Now let's take a look at some of the other spots that are chilly this morning in the Midwest, like you saw around the Fargo area. We've got the chill. We have it Minneapolis. It is 8 right now. Chicago 17. None of these numbers are actually what it feels like, though, outside. Knock about, 10 or 15 degrees off of this, and that's what it feels like at the moment. Strong winds out there, gusty winds bringing in the snow squalls. Your visibility might not be down to blizzard conditions like we saw yesterday, but it is going to get reduced by blowing snow at times today. And the chill is just in the air, and that's widespread. The snow showers are going to be very hit or miss, but the chill everyone gets to experience. Today going to 33 in Cleveland and 32 in Cincinnati. Look at Indy, 27 degrees everywhere. We were going to knock off 10, 15 degrees from this temperature, and that'll be your wind chill. Morning lows are going to be on the cold side too. Minneapolis for us, our average low is 11. You know, it's not been that bad this winter, right? That's what most of us have said. Here we go with our cold. We've got temperatures dipping down overnight tonight to 1 below. Tomorrow only a high of 11, and then 1 above tomorrow morning. And then by Friday, you can see we're still on the cold side, still running below average, which we have not seen a lot of so far this winter. Today, a big day in the South, and that would be Mardi Gras. So let's talk about that. I mean, Chicago, you've got the chill up here as well. You might have thought about going to Mardi Gras to warm up. Not this year. We're going to have a big party, but it's going to be a chilly one. And today, we are going to look for temperatures, Ann Riddis, to
with us,
She
Jen.
is one of the greatest people on the planet.
You stop. Let's talk about Texas. All the facts. We've got dry air in place. I've got actually a really interesting story to tell, which is why I want to get to this here. So sunshine, yeah, lovely afternoon today. A little chilly to start, but a very warm finish in Austin. But the story is that it is so dry, dew points are low, that we're concerned about the fire danger. And that concern is across the state of Texas, especially West Texas, where it's been incredibly dry lately. It's been a tough start to 2016. But the interesting story is one that a friend sent me, was in the newspaper, about in Australia, that they think brush fires are getting spread by birds of prey. They're intentionally, birds like brown falcons are intentionally spreading fires when they can't get to food, and if another bird gets there before them, so they spread a fire. And isn't that fascinating? I mean, when it comes to fire threat, we think about dry air, yes, we think about the winds, yes, we think about humans, but we don't often think about birds. All right, great day ahead in Texas. I'll leave you with a nice looking afternoon. We'll be back to check in with the snow. Charlotte, but in the east, you've been saying, oh, this winter wasn't really that bad. However, here it goes. We've got the snow, we've got the cold. It's all staying in place all week long. So this is the week that we will sort of remember as winter. It extends Wednesday with some snow showers still continuing all the way down the Appalachians. Temperatures well below average all the way down into Florida. In the meantime, in the west, it is so warm, mid to upper 80s again in Southern California. Those are going to be our hottest spots. Even Dallas, we're in the 70s by Thursday. It's really the east, and there's this pattern where we've got a trough in the east and a ridge in the west, and it keeps us warm and dry in most of the west, except in the northwest. And in the east, it keeps us cold. And by the weekend, to some extent, fairly dry, although we do have another system diving in on Sunday across the upper Midwest. You know, we were talking about the potential of a storm on Friday off the coast. That's not looking likely. It looks like it'll head out to sea, but you know, you got to watch the next one coming on in. You see how far south that goes. We'll look for all the way down to Missouri. Some starts on the west coast, but it makes its way across the entire country, so you got to watch this one. It starts with this big bowling ball of low pressure dip in the jet stream coming in across the west. Look at the rain we have going on right now. Rain heavy at times across the San Diego area, up towards Santa Barbara. We've got some very heavy rain heading up to the Bay Area as well. Los Angeles, some lighter showers in the area for now, but there will be more heavier stuff coming our way later today. Could even be a thunderstorm or two. That's a possibility. We see some of this heavy rain on the move, not to mention the snow, which above 7,000 feet is going to be on the order of feet. 3 to 4 feet is possible at some of those highest spots. All right, so we're going to bring the rain not just in California, but now we're going to move it into Nevada and also into Arizona, where we have had such a dry start to the rainy season, starting to get some rain back into the picture. Rainfall will be heavy. Now, this is on top of the rain that we saw yesterday, so it's another 1 to 3 or even some places 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. Here's a closer look. So let's dive down here into the area to show you that easily 1 to 2 inches of rain will fall in LA. You know, in town, it's going to be rainy, but especially up in the hills and especially up in the mountains, that's where we've got the chance of maybe even 3 inches of rainfall, which is why, like in the Thomas Fire area, there is that concern for mudslides. Places that have been stripped of vegetation, we could easily see some of that debris flow happen. A big concern. You know, it has been dry. We have had one of our top driest starts to the water year on record. So you look at average and actual, so far below in all of these spots, from Fresno to LA to San Diego, barely had any rain going back to October 1st, which is the start of the water year. All right, so that same storm system is marching across the country, and that could mean more the rest of this week, get you into the weekend. This is a long weekend for many. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so for a lot of you, that's a volunteer day. You might be making some plans to do that this upcoming weekend. Today and tomorrow, it's all about tracking our western storm system moving east. So your forecasts today into tomorrow is for the snow to move into the mountains. We're going to see snow back into Colorado after our warm start to the year. That moves out on Thursday, heads into the northern plains. Meanwhile, rain spreads throughout much of the Ohio Valley and the southeast. And this rain is on the move Friday to the eastern seaboard. So this is a rainstorm this time for D.C., for New York City, for Boston. It's not going to be snow. It's going to be rain as it tracks on in. Temperatures stay pretty mild. The snow hangs back to interior areas. But Chicago, we could end the whole event with a couple of snowflakes clearing out. It looks spectacular for some morning color out there in the sky, but really a lot of the Central Plains. Now, you know, after this fog, I think we'll see how good of a sunrise your sunrise is this morning in places like St. Louis, but even in the Mid-Atlantic, maybe D.C., we get rid of enough of those clouds to get a good-looking sunrise this morning. Coming up more on the now, Southern California, it's going to continue to bring rain here again today for the second day in a row. Plus, we'll spread some moisture into Nevada and also into Arizona, where it's been pretty dry as well. So the heaviest of rain right now in San Diego. Diego, and then up towards Santa Barbara, and then up towards the Bay Area, getting some decent rain as well. So the two different pieces to this at the moment. The snow is going to be a bit heavier too. Up above 7,000 feet is where some of the biggest snowfall will happen in the Sierra. So rain today spreading in, continuing through this evening. We get some rain and some mountain snow in Arizona. Flagstaff, you all will finally get your snow for the season. We haven't had anything really just yet. All right, so your forecast is going to be for another inch or two, if maybe even 3 inches of additional rainfall in Southern California. Tough to believe, right, considering how little rain we have had so far to start this water year. Not much at all, but we're going to put another 1 or 2 inches of rain. The higher amounts will be up in the mountains. We'll see maybe 2 to 3 in those areas. So here is that look at average compared to what we have had. Fresno, for example, we would average close to 4 inches by now. We have barely had a ½ an inch, but we're going to add a lot to that number today and into tonight. LA, San Diego, same thing as well. And then next, this system is going to head out into the middle of the country and it becomes a snowmaker. So let's take a live Minneapolis, St. Paul, 25 degrees right now to start your day. We're heading to the upper 30s today. Enjoy your balmy couple of days because this thing comes in and it does help pull in the moisture and the warm air out ahead of it. But then behind it, there's some more cold air to come back into the picture. So here's what happens. Tomorrow, the surface low starts to develop. We see the moisture come back across the southern plains. Their air is warm to start, but then the cold air comes in, and when the moisture and the cold air get together, then we got the snowstorm on our hands. We see that by the end of today tomorrow. So this is your Wednesday forecast. Snow spreading in the I-94 corridor, I-90, I-80. All are going to see that changeover, plus some gusty winds are going to be felt as well. We track our surface low up. We're going to be tracking the change in precipitation as well, changing perhaps from rain to snow in places like certainly Minneapolis will see it. Des Moines, we're likely to see it. Chicago, we'll see how much snow we get. You're going to be spending much more time in the rainfall bucket than you will the snowfall. Now, for us in Minneapolis, it's going to add up to 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 inches of snow. That would be our biggest snowstorm of the season if we get this much. We haven't had a lot of snow, kind of nickel and diming here and there, and we're running about 17 inches below average in Minneapolis. So here's a look at the overall snowfall forecast, and you can see that widespread, there's a 3 to 5 or even 5 to 8 inch snowfall expected from northeastern Minnesota right back into Nebraska. Now we go coast to coast with your Tuesday morning weather headlines. The Arctic cyclonic pattern that we are dealing with in the Northeast, and I'll show you with a lot of snow still happening. So here's some of the big totals. Raymond, New Hampshire, 27 inches. Haverhill, Massachusetts, more than 2 feet at 24 inches. Milford, Sanford, you're coming in at just under 2 feet. And Waterford, Connecticut, 17 inches of snow. What a storm this was. So much wind, so much snow. It came down so heavy. You had whiteout conditions. Boston, we set a couple of records. So we set our snowiest March day on record, and that was 14.5 inches. That was our total. That surpassed 1956 and also 1993. The blizzard of 93. Yep, this is a bigger deal for you here yesterday in Boston, Massachusetts. So right now, we still have winter storm warnings that are up, especially for northern and central Maine, parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, also parts of northern New York State as well. So watch what happens. So we have our storm, and it's moved up here into the Canadian Maritimes, kind of pivoted back a little bit, and so that's helping to keep us here in the snow showers in Maine. We also had a disturbance that rolled over the Great Lakes in the Midwest yesterday, and that's helping keep us snowy too across parts of Indiana, Ohio, and then into northern New York. It's really everything that's happening here today. A little disturbance aloft, the flow that we're still getting from our exiting storm, the lakes, everything going to keep us snowy in places like Syracuse and Rochester and up into Burlington, Vermont. We've got snow happening right now, and Portland too. It is still snowing after, I think we were 11.5 yesterday in Portland, and still snowing. All right, so we take a look at the forecast here for today as we watch this morning snow showers continuing. We're going to be watching for more snow, especially across central and northern Maine, and we are going to be watching for that snow in Vermont, New Hampshire. Guys, again, another week where the ski resorts are picking up some great snow, and what an epic season we're having here for spring skiing across parts of the north. A little bit of everything happening. It's not just one storm per se, so don't get too hung up on the why it's snowing. It's the fact that it is snowing. That's the biggest deal for you today. We have that flow coming in from the north and west, just keeping it unstable. You know, there may be some breaks in the clouds out there today, and that actually could help sort of just like in the summertime, sort of enhance the instability, and you'll get some heavier snow showers or snow squalls out there. It goes on through today, through this evening. Some of the snow will be heavy at times, starts to taper off by tomorrow, though we'll still have some influence from the lakes. They're not completely clearing up. Here's a look at how much more yet to go. The darker blue, widespread 3 to 5, the lighter blue 1 to 3, additional snow yet to come. But we've got a lot of areas still to see 5 to 8 inches or even 8 inches plus of snowfall. So we are still dealing with a very snowy pattern here. Portland, Maine, we got another couple of inches to go with this storm system, and this is really what's left of Winter Storm Skylar. Continues today into this evening, and then by your Thursday we'll finally get a break and get those temperatures back up to 40s. They're not really that warm to do a lot of melting, so I don't know, you're hanging on to the snow for a while, guys. Here's widespread in Maine what we are expecting. It's a 1, 2, 3 inch kind of additional snow yet to go across down East Maine. More as you go into northern and into the mountains here in parts of Maine. Portland for us, in terms of where we're ranking our top March snowstorms. This one didn't make the top 5, but it's not quite done yet, so we'll see where we end up. Now, and around the Great Lakes. All right, so here we go. The lakes are open for business. Lake effect season is usually at the beginning of the season as well as at the end of the season when the lakes lose their ice. So be ready for that. We're going to, not see, I think, pure lake effect, but lake enhancement happening today. And we already see some signs of that on the radar. Not all of it will be that heavy, but just keeping it wintry feeling out there. We've got some temperatures out there today that are starting off in the 20s and or low 30s, so below freezing. So I know it was very slushy yesterday on the roadways after all that snow, and they did a great job of clearing everything. But since we've dropped below freezing tonight, there will be icy spots on the roadways this morning, getting up into the low 40s in Boston here. Some spots are not getting out of the 30s. Now, how to survive a Boston blizzard. First, park the car, then plant tongue firmly in cheek. Next week, we'll get you into the weekend in view. Today, it's about finishing up what's left of Skylar here into Maine. Still some snow showers left behind across portions of New York State. And, even the mountains of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, still snow happening today. Just saw some snow happening all the way down into East Tennessee this morning. Yikes. All right, the West, very active. We're watching the snow begin to pile up in the Sierra. That's going to keep on going as we get into your weekend, too. Great news for the snowpack and the water source there. So we'll watch that. Hopefully it's not too much rain at once in some of the areas that can't handle it. We get to the weekend watching that system from the Intermountain West move across the northern tier. In the south is rain and another rainy weekend on the front here right through the south and east. Well, airports are playing catch up in the northeast. We'll check travel for you at 20 minutes past the hour. Actually, in Maine, the snow is still coming down. I'll show you in a second. Here's the big totals. Wilmington, Massachusetts, 29.5 inches of snow. As it was coming down yesterday, I know in Massachusetts and in New Hampshire, you were watching it and said, well, this is good, but maybe not as big as Quinn was. But this was bigger. This was a bigger one for you here. Elk Springs, Massachusetts, 27.8. Milford, 26. All of these spots, more than 2 feet of snow. North Forster, Rhode Island, more than 2 feet of snow as well. So Boston, with our total of 14.5 inches of snow. It is now our snowiest March day on record. It beats 1956. It beats 1993, the blizzard of 93, which was probably what was fresh in your mind when it comes to big March snowstorms. Now, as we look at what's left, we still have winter storm warnings in Maine. They actually still continue in parts of New York State as well. It's a little bit of everything going on today. It's not just what's left of Skylar. You can see what's left of Skylar right here. The energy has sort of pivoted back in. And so like Quinn, the same thing. We'll keep that snow shower activity around, but we also had a disturbance that moved all the way down through the Midwest yesterday. That plus just the northwesterly flow is going to keep us with the snow showers. Oh, and the lakes are helping too. Literally everything is going on here into the Midwest and interior parts of the Northeast. Snow falling in Buffalo and Syracuse. Some of it could be heavy at times. It's going to be a snow squall situation where you get in and out of some of the heavier snows, and we could see several inches still of new snow up into New York State and into Vermont, New Hampshire today especially. It's 40 minutes past the hour. AMHQ early checking travel right now for you at 40 minutes past the hour. So today we are going to be watching for some issues with snow showers, snow squalls. We bring the plane in this morning, and overall it's going to be a much better day than yesterday. So there will be some travel issues and some delays are possible. Look at the west all of a sudden getting very busy too. So San Francisco, we're expecting delays there. In the east, it's a catch-up day in Boston. There are still some cancellations there, though a very small percentage. And I think it's really just about getting the right planes and the crews and everything in the right places today. The wind in the northeast can still create some travel delays. Now, it is hump day. Gosh, it feels like a long week already, hasn't it? There's a lot of weather that's happened this week already. And we still have today to go with, there's still a bit of Skylar left in Maine. We're getting some snow there. Some snow showers will continue across New York State. It's actually been snowing in the Appalachians already today, and there'll be a bit more, scattered stuff. But that's still going on today and early tomorrow. Now, we start to warm up. Dallas, we're getting to the upper 70s. That's a nice little break in between these cold snaps that we've had. Atlanta will get back to the 60s and maybe close to 70 by the time we get to Friday. But look what happens with our next system that comes in. We've got the chance for thunderstorms, possible severe weather. With the warm up, that risk is going to come. And we see that for the weekend bring us some active weather into the southeast. More rain on the soccer fields for kids all across the south.